you know.
And for anyone who doesn't understand why nations need money, like it's all about being able to engage in commerce with other countries. Like Canada and Russia theoretically, like could stand entirely alone resource-wise because we have enough land, we have enough technology, we have enough resources. But we're in this old model of economics, so we want to buy food elsewhere from the States, from the Central American countries who can produce food all year round instead of using our technology to do it ourselves. So we have to buy into their system of money. We have to go through the American dollar to get those resources we want, and at the same time, in order to pay for that, we have to export. So we have to always have more exports than we're importing, and it's a whole. That's why Africa's so poor, because they are a lush of resources, but they don't have any stable countries to actually properly engage in this international commerce to be a real player. Imagine if Africa united under one flag. Muammar Gaddafi, a warlord, whatever, sure, but he wanted to help his people by getting the Western countries to pay for his oil and resources in gold, in real money. And then they had a whole smear campaign, killed him, and you only see this on Russia Today. It's the only news outlet that properly covered it. And you can't, it's amazing how closed off people are, but this is obstacles that can be overcome. That's why we all have to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, and there's also no shortage of ideas. I've also had another crazy idea. You're going to hear lots of these crazy ideas. But, so one was I was thinking of proposing to the nation of Canada in general, like, so if I could have a moment to speak on a podium or have a clear idea of like the step-by-step process of what we could do as a nation. What I thought is, because Canada is so lush with resources and look at the population density, so much land available.
We're tiny.
We're tiny, but we're huge, and everything, we live way too much in abundance right now. And anyways, what I feel like we could do, because constantly what politicians are after is to address the debt that our nation has, is here's what I would propose, although, once again, it's going through the political process, but if you could get enough of the citizens behind it, it would be awesome. So imagine taking Canada and making Canada this community corporation as a whole. So what we say to every citizen of Canada is everybody is provided for. And I know that sounds like communism, a lot of people are going to go there.
That's on my list.
But it's a step beyond that. Let's stop putting labels on things and let's just look at what we're trying to achieve. So imagine if everybody was just taken care of. There was no, you get a certain salary and everybody, we're still exchanging. No, within Canada, no exchange of money. Everything is, we have a job to do, we have energy to make, we're going to be the most efficient country in the world. And what we're going to do is we're going to no longer import stuff, but we will always export. We will always give to other nations, but we don't have to take from any nations anymore, right? Because we are going to produce at an abundant level once we become efficient. Resources, we're like, man, we have way too much. And so we go, and so all that extra money, instead of spending it, on our internal economy, because our internal economy doesn't exist with money, this is my hypothetical situation, we use that money that we export to pay off our debt. And then once we're debt-free, my God, we are no longer beholden to any of the global international banks. And we can stand as a country that says, you know what, we welcome immigrants from all nations. If you want to live with us, feel free, because we have the resources and the means to accommodate more than enough people. The reason we hold back immigration right now is because of money, because we're afraid of losing jobs, right? But that's the whole point of what we're trying to achieve, is to reduce the number of jobs that we need, right? Because once you get to that sustainable level where you really are just taking care of your basic needs and we're all following our passion, like what work is there really left to do? Our whole job is to, through technological unemployment, we take advantage of that. We have robots that tend to vertical farms. We have machines that look after all of our energy plants, and maybe you just need a few people to watch over the equipment, and you're going to need people to program, you're going to need people to do things. But imagine like having like a list of all the jobs that need to get done in Canada, and everything was volunteer-based. So it was like, you know what, we have X amount of hours that we need to put into here. We need somebody who can do management or somebody who can do this technical skill. And so people just step up to the plate and just, you know, you can even lay it out and say, look, there's this many people who are capable of working, and divide up the work amongst the people so that maybe everybody only works 10 hours a week. I don't know. I think that sounds like a pretty sweet deal to have everything you need.
And divide up the really shitty jobs like garbage collection,
Mhm.
if you still need people to do that. You know, doctors and politicians would do that 2 weeks of the year too,
Mhm.
just to contribute to that crappiness so that it's not someone's identity,
Yeah.
the garbage man.
Or maybe, yeah, the really shitty jobs, the ones that we really don't want to do, is we say, okay, we all agree that we don't want to do these jobs and they have to get done, so everybody puts in like 1 hour a week
Yeah.
or something, you know? And then that way nobody's labeled to like, oh, you're a garbage man and you're this. Like, no, we all do our part. And so that was just one of my ideas. Like, I have this idea for a short film I'd like to do where this guy or girl, whoever the protagonist, gets an opportunity to speak in front of Parliament. You know, and they've been working towards this, and they have this idea, and then by the end, they don't come to a conclusion. We leave it kind of to the audience to see. So that's what ends up happening is, well, I prepare this speech or this presentation, and then play it out as, you know, like a fictional film, but at the same time, I'm actually suggesting it. It's like, you know, imagine having that opportunity to speak in front of the nation and say, look, we can do this. Like, this is, I've talked to the experts, here's the engineers, here's the architects, here's the financial advisors, this plan can work. And so there really is no reason to oppose this other than our own selfish, you know, needs to feel like we need to be empowered and or have power over other people. So once again, just another crazy idea. But since it's the end of the presentation, if everybody wants to, like, I don't know, get up, move around, there's food and stuff, we can talk more.